Picture this. One moment, your Roblox game is on top of Roblox. With the most successful launch of all time, a stable concurrent user count, and a thriving community and a growing fanbase, you believe your game is going to be on top of Roblox charts forever. But that doesn't happen for long. Within weeks, the game starts having issues. The game starts losing players. It loses its first place spot on the charts, going from a few 100,000 to not even 1,000 players within a year. Well, a prime example of this is Pets Go. The game once had a peak of over 300,000 players and now can barely reach 500. But to find out why, we need to go to the beginning. Pets Go was released all the way back on October 11th of 2024 by a studio known as Big Games Pets, which has a Roblox group with over 29 million users, which is owned by a developer known as Preston, the founder and owner of Big Games. And you should just remember these names, as Big Games and Preston are infamous for making pay-to-win and very many boring games. And we'll just get to that now. Basically, Preston joined Roblox all the way back in 2012 and would start making games in early 2018. His first few games were very boring and very pay-to-win. They include lots of RNG, gambling, and AFK grinding. This would set the record for how people would view big games and what the reputation was. Any game they released after 2018 was either full of gambling, AFK grinding, or spending a lot of Robux. And for years, this method worked extremely well. They were able to achieve massive player amounts. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of players back when that was considered impossible. They even would hit 1 million back in 2021 on multiple occasions back when that was basically impossible. So you could tell the studio was very successful. But the thing is, eventually that success died down in mid-2024, and Preston needed something to revive his studio. So he decided to go with the newest and latest trend, RNG games. That's how Preston came up with the idea of Pets Go. And his team started, and it only took them 2 months to actually make the whole game. And on September 28th of 2024, they would announce the spin-off, and hype started building really fast. People for years had wanted a new game by Big Games, and this was the time that they were finally releasing their newest game. With hype building up faster than ever, the game would finally officially release on October 11th of 2024. And before I even explain the player counts or anything else, I need to actually explain the game. Inside of Pets Go, you basically are able to roll for different pets. Every time you roll, you get a new pet. Depending on what you roll, you get a better pet. But at first that sounds super boring. So that's why there are things called upgrades. Basically, the more you upgrade, the better chance you have of getting something good. The better eggs you have, the better chance you have of getting something good. You can also collect coins. With events happening every 2 weeks just like the normal game, the game also had huge pets and much others. You could even mail things to other people. So this game at first sounds like an okay game. It doesn't sound like something that the ideal Roblox player is going to play forever, but it sounds like something that can hold up some relevancy for quite some time. And at launch, the game had over 300,000 players at once. For the next few months, this game would be dominating the Roblox charts. For about 2 months, the game would never go below 100,000 players. And the game peaked at over 400,000 players on October 19th of 2024. That sounds super promising. It seemed like the future of big games was in Pets Go's hand. For a while, the game continued doing just as well. For the first 2 months, like I mentioned, the game would never drop below 100,000. But problems started into 2025. At first, the game randomly had a massive drop in players. It started going slowly below 100,000 for a number of reasons. The first overall thing is that Pets Go just isn't that interesting. Like, yeah, it's cool and all, but the thing is, people didn't actually care for it. People didn't really like it. The game didn't actually have that much content. You just roll, upgrade, and that's pretty much all. Pet Simulator had multiple worlds. In Pets Go, you were in the same place over and over with nowhere to really go, meaning there was no real progression, no reward for grinding so long. This would cause a lot of players to just start leaving the game. It's not like the game lost all players at once, but the game had lost a few thousand players. The game went from an average of 200 to 100,000 to just maybe 80 to 60,000. Still, the game was really relevant, still being talked about on YouTube and other platforms. But before I can explain anything else that has to do with the player count, I need to explain the core issues with Pets Go. I already explained the things that made Pets Go fun, but there are a lot more things that made Pets Go bad compared to good. First off, Pets Go, like I mentioned, does not have much to do. All you do is really the same few things. There's no progression. In any other game released by Big Games and Big Games Pets, they all have progression in other worlds, and you get rewarded for what you do. But in Pets Go, it's sort of you just rolling to get pets. Nothing else really. you can upgrade, but that's pretty much all you can do. And that process is something that anyone can really do. You don't even have to be at your computer for that. You could just leave it on the whole day to play the game for you. And that just kind of makes the game boring because you're not really even doing anything. Now, before we go through, I need to explain one thing that Big Games has been infamous for doing. They're infamous for blowing up games and getting them to a point where they are the most popular games on Roblox and then letting them die out. It's something that has happened with almost all of their games. The original Pet Simulator once had thousands and thousands of players, but now can't even reach 100. Pet Simulator X at one point had over 1 million players, but now can't really reach even 2,000. Pet Simulator 99 at one point had 700,000, and while they're still able to hold up a good concurrent user count, at one point they couldn't even hold up 10,000. But this usually takes over like a year to 2 years to happen, and Pets Go was already experiencing a downfall not even 5 months into the game's existence. Into February and March, the game will start hitting new lows, 50,000, 40,000, which was bad. Preston and his team didn't know what to do. Sure, sometimes the game's player count spiked back up, but this was bad. People were leaving for the obvious reasons. The game kinda sucked. The updates were not that good. The updates were super dry and didn't have that much content. And at this point, many people started realizing that Pets Go was just a cash grab and a marketing stunt. It was not a new beginning or a new era of big games. No, it was just something that would get everyone's attention on this new game while their other games were flopping so they could continue making money. And this was bad. And the game's player count just continued going down. It started hitting new lows, hitting 30,000 average, even 20,000 sometimes. And Preston needed something to do. Him and his team were actually cooked. So they released their last big and official update on May 30th, 2025. And that is the month when everything would go wrong so fast. This last update would manage to keep the game alive for the next month, but by June, this had already gone wrong. The game's player count started going down fast, alarmingly. I'm talking to the point where it wasn't even averaging 10,000 at this point. By July, everything had been going wrong. People were even starting to make videos on the game's downfall because it got so bad. The game was hitting all-time new lows, 5,000. 6,000, and it didn't even go up. And this is just a prime example of what the true intentions of the game were. It was not a game for a new beginning for big games. It was literally just a marketing scheme and an advertisement. And by this point, all of the other games in big games had also died. And this had seemed like the end of big games entirely. The whole company would eventually just announce a shutdown in August. And it seems like the whole big games had collapsed. Not even a new game that was supposed to have a new direction or a marketing scheme could save this company. For months, it seems like everything was over. But something happened. In October, big games started again. And at the same time, Pets Go had barely 1,000 players. Literally exactly 365 days after release, Pets Go had been failing, barely reaching 1,000 players. And Pet Simulator 99 started receiving updates. And that's kind of the story of Pets Go. How the game just slowly died due to it not really being fun or anything. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video about the rise and very quick downfall of Pets Go. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. My name is Mighty. Anyways, hope you have a good day and Mighty out.